Hello, welcome to the Lone Show. I'm your host, John Malone. In this episode, not sure we might get guests, but if not, the show must go on. As for our guest, he's from Chicago, but currently in Manchester. He is a director for a media company called No Margins Media. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Nigel Sandwich.
That's me share my own cell phone. What's going on, everybody? My name is Nigel Sandwich, also known by my director tag as Sensei Sand, like the beach. I'm not hard to reach. I like to talk, but I don't preach. It all rolls off the tongue. You'll catch it when you catch it. What's going on today, Peter?
It's all good. How's life with you?
It's good like God with an extra O, man. Got up this morning, got a little workout in. I'm over at my clothing shop today, getting all noodly, jumping around, and I am working on 4,001 video projects right now. So I'm in like a real deep creative hub, man. I'm just locked in. I'm vibing.
Great. Tell me more about your media company.
Man, first things first. How are you, man? We asking me the questions and stuff like that. How are you feeling today, man?
Well, life's going great for me. Just chilling, relaxing, go with the flow, and getting ready to start the new chapters in my life.
Okay, I could dig it. I could dig it. I could definitely dig that. I feel you on that. For me right now, life's going great with me in the media company. I run a company called No Margins Media. I work with primarily artists and creatives, so we do visuals for them. We do music videos. We do documentaries. We do shorts. We do photography. We do consultation. We're overall packaging artists. The reason I got into this is because I just wanted to be, like a real cool videographer, have a cool tag name and shit, and maybe get a couple music videos here and there. But what I come to notice when it came to working with creatives was that it's a lot of creatives out here who don't have the proper image and they don't have the proper look that they need that to get that next look or that next big thing in their careers. So I, in essence, wanted to create a platform that helped cultivate the next generation of creatives. Like I will work with a rapper, and the rapper can't get an interview if he don't have an interview. They can't get a music video. They don't have a music video. They can't get a show. They don't have show work. And it's all these elements that stop creators from fully getting to like flourish and try different things that I noticed were those initial barriers that kill a creator's career. And as somebody who's himself who didn't know that I wanted to do this for this long, I know that those hiccups can be that make or break for a lot of people's careers. So I just wanted to make a centralized hub where if you were really passionate, you can come here and get your start.
Okay, great. And what is your favorite part about running your media company?
Being my own boss. That's my favorite part. 10 out of 10. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you asked me. 10 out of 10. If anybody, I can't even pretend like I own the artistry or the fashion because those are two like main things. But I think for me, it's the creative element to just being like, I can tell nobody can fire me but me. This shit is great. Um, like for example, right? I went to a studio with an artist last night. I connected two different artists last night. We went to the studio. We were in there till about 6 in the morning. I go home. I go to sleep for 3 hours. I get up, work out, and then I come into my other business because I have a clothing brand as well. And that's just the type of life that I get to live where I don't have to feel necessarily bad about wanting to be out all night in these moments with these different types of creatives because it's like, oh, this is part of my job too, I guess. So I get to do things like that. Or, you know, if I wanted to take a day off, I'm not in the room to take a day off right now because I'm just really busy. But if I wanted to, I'm the only thing stopping me. I'm the only one who can dictate what I am and ain't allowed to do. And I think that's just a vibe. Like, I think in life in general, as humans, we always kind of want to find what our form of freedom is or our ability to just be ourselves in our own element and be natural. And right now, I think I'm just in that state because I'm my own boss.
Okay, nice, nice.
Mhm.
What what what's your favorite form of media?
um, my favorite form of media would have to be music, actually. I have a deep, deep, deep passion for music. I like all forms of art, but there's just something about music that's just always been my safe space when it comes to just life in general. If I need to like meditate, if I need to decompress, if I'm going through something, if I'm happy, before this interview, hell, I was jumping around, spinning around, just listening to Don Tolliver, and it's just music just creates this ability to be free and just be loose and just be yourself that I think that I don't take as much from everything else. Though I am a visual artist, I would say music probably leads a lot of my visuals because music has its own color, it has its own texture, it has its own tonal ranges and temperature that you can apply to other forms of art. Like you can literally see what a song is supposed to be before you ever put the visuals to the song, if that makes sense. So I would
Yeah,
have to go with music.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
What about you, man? I know that you do media stuff as well. So what would you say your favorite form of media is?
Well, my favorite form of media would be basically, in general, social media, like content creation and
Mm.
ad promotion and marketing through social media, all that kind of thing. And
So
yeah,
so what why would you say social media? Like I'm not old. I promise I'm not as old as I feel inside. But like right, I'm starting to feel like there's like this shift in online presence where there are either people who never want to be there or people who are very focused on being there. So what about social media just attracts you?
well, the thing that I like about social media is it's accessible, and everyone's pretty much on it to some capacity. That's like there's apps like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. There's tons of content and a lot of things that people write and videos people make. It's very accessible, and you can watch as many people as possible, all in one day, 24/7, 365. And what I like about social media is just putting myself out there to the broader public across the internet, across the whole globe. That's just what I like. Just myself out there to the whole world.
Okay, no, I could definitely dig that. I guess even like with a podcast in essence is putting yourself out into the world. I just always wonder like how people feel about it on a day to day basis because I know that it's one of those things that tends to eat people up or make them feel insecure, make them feel like they're not achieving as much in their life. Do you feel like you have those factors against you, especially since you've been like viral before? Do you think that like does it affect the way that
Well, to some extent, if I do see like a portions of my content being pushed more in terms of views and engagement, a little bit, yes, but I wouldn't let it get to my head a bit, because what's important is remaining consistent and keep on making the stuff that people that really love the kind of content people love watching.
you? Okay, fair enough. I could dig that. That's just interesting. To me, it's so weird in my head because social media literally is media, but I never really like thought about it as deeply as I have been like these last couple of months and like the power that it has because it really does help a lot. Like with my media company, we've been just doing this thing where I've had so much stuff, so much art, so much things, so many things, and so many different concepts that we created over the last couple of years, and I've been like too nervous or too just shy to put it out. I'm always like, oh, it's not ready, or people won't like this, or this is just in the right moment. And recently, I was just like, instead of like thinking about this social media barrier as like something that's negative, you should use it as a plus. Like, if I have all this content, why not just give it to the world and see what they decide to do with it? So, with that being said, it's just been like we just been nonstop, just dropping stuff every week, just dropping like new content and finding new ways and new areas to put it in online. And now I'm starting to get that trickle effect of being like a page that can just exist and get likes all day. And it's so weird. Like I feel kind of like fly, but also like, what is this? But but I get what you're saying. Like, yo, it's just like you just gotta put yourself out there. Sometimes you gotta step out that comfort zone and get out of your own head.
Absolutely. And whereabouts is your media company based?
So my media company is based in Manchester, UK. Why did I pick Manchester, might you ask? Um, funny enough, Manchester has more creators per capita than any place in the world. I found that out during a visit here. I was doing a shoot with Netflix about a year ago, and I was doing a shoot with Netflix, and it was like I had just broke into the industry, so I'm just like I'm excited. I'm on a run. Every show, anything anybody can get me on, I'm going on it. I'm doing it. I'm helping. And I was in London, and I realized like that I didn't like the lifestyle. Like for like the 6 months that I was doing with London, it seemed like I would go to work, I would come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, and then I'm looking at how much I'm making in proximity to how much I'm spending to live in the city and to travel, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Like, I'm literally paying for a place that I'm never at. Like, I'm paying for a place that I'm never at, and a lifestyle that I never get to enjoy. So I made a conscious decision to try to see what other cities had like bigger ecosystems. I had a friend recommend that I should check out Manchester, and came down here. Had the time of my life, ran around the city, hanging out with just so many different types of people in one day. And one day I'm hanging out in Moss Side. Another day I'm hanging out in Salford. Another day I'm hanging out in Northern Quarter. Like in one weekend, I just met every type of person. I was like, okay, this is the city for me. I never seen a place where everybody was so contrastly different, but okay with it.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying because I always look at Manchester as more than just a city with history with the Industrial Revolution, the two football or soccer clubs in all of Great Britain, and of course the massive creative ecosystem Manchester had with Media City UK, where the BBC and ITV studios are, and also where half of UK shows are based in and recorded at. So yeah,
Yeah,
so I certainly agree with you with what you just said.
and it's a you know what, it's cool. I think Manchester has a that they have a buzz. It has a buzz that's not getting respected as deserves yet. But it's fly. I'm the mayor now. I don't know if they told you, Peter, but I come to the city and I proclaim myself the mayor. And I feel like my goal now to help this city grow into the dopeness that it needs to be. Like, I just think that there's so much going on here. And coming from a city, I'm from Chicago initially, originally. And my city gets such a terrible reputation in the world because of how it's perceived on the internet. But we have culture, we have lifestyle, we have music, we have art, we have media, we have so much different stuff that we never get to really showcase because they never treat that as a foreground thing. And I think Manchester catches a bad reputation sometimes from people too. But if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna do it the same way I do Chicago and give it straight love. I'm gonna feed into the ecosystem. I'm gonna try to make it a place that people brag and are excited and proud to say they're from. You know what I mean?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Nice.
So that's the goal, man. I came in here. I say I'm the mayor now. Well, so it's time for me to help the people, man. So, I think it's important to like get out to do charity, to connect with the other creatives in the city, to just network, to just have these conversations and just kind of instill that this is where the direction of the city's going. Especially like right now, there's such an interesting feeling about the city, and everybody's kind of wanting to come here. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not one of the people that's early to the party of, what I'm saying, seeing what it could potentially be. But I understand that there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. So, it's about generating the culture right now of what you want it to be before it starts to get diluted.
Yeah.
So
Oh yes.
I get it. You gonna help me shake up Manchester, Peter?
Yeah. Yeah. I love a bit of Manchester every once in a while.
I can dig it, man. You got to help me make this city cool, man. Stuff like this podcast is how we branch all the creatives and all the different types of people in the city together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Certainly the way to go.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I'm a very impassionate person, if you can already tell. I will rant about everything in life, including lemons. But it's just one of those things to me. Like I think that community is important, and it's important that we right now, with the way that the world is, that we all try our best to not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, convert somebody's lifestyle away from what they have going on, but just try to be a better form of yourself and then proxy help other people become better forms of themselves.
Absolutely. So, if you had to lose one of your senses, which one would you choose to lose?
Bet you got me here. This is my favorite type of conversation, right? So I will trade you this question if you let me trade you a question. Deal?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So if I had to lose one of my senses, I would go with the sense of taste, right? Hear me out. The reason I would go with the sense of taste is because I do like flavors. Food is cool and all, but if I don't have a sense of taste, you know how much bullshit I could win? You know how many contests I could have won in my life? You know how many Fear Factor episodes would have been specialized, dedicated to me? Like it would just been me eating, eating deer antlers and and frog testicles for 18 seasons. And we would have all ate it up because I wouldn't be able to taste any of this. So once I'm over that hurdle, I'm instantly in any door. Touch, oh man, I like touching stuff, bro. I like soft stuff. I like cool stuff. I like that. I like different textures, different fabrics. This is why I have a clothing brand too. I like smell. I love a good scent. Sight, come on, man. I need my sight. My eyes too big for me not to be able to see well. And and I gotta have sound because music, of course. But I would have to say, I would have to say it's definitely gotta be taste. Taste is the easiest go. And I guess we all kind of lost it in this last couple of years. So you get the gist of what it's like. Now, I have a question for you.
All right then.
Would you rather cry hot sauce or sweat barbecue sauce, and why?
You know what? I'd rather cry hot sauce because, to be honest, I'd rather go with hot sauce rather than barbecue sauce. I just don't like barbecue. I don't just don't like barbecue in general for whatever reason. I just prefer things that are just really spicy, you know?
So no, I'm the same way. I'm a spice whore. I will try everything just because it's spicy and see where it goes. Will I make it through everything? No, but I would go with that. But what about when you're crying? Wouldn't that just increase the cry?
Yeah, I've dealt worse. It could be worse. No, I haven't dealt with before.
Oh man, I respect it. I got another one for you.
All
I
right.
asked you this one. I asked you this one off camera. We were just getting to meet each other. But what do you want to be when you grow up? I asked everybody this question. I think it's an intricate question that asks any human being in life. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I want to be many things: an actor, podcaster, and just someone who gives back to the community.
Okay, okay, I could dig that. So what with the creative aspects? What made you decide that like acting and podcasting were things for you?
Well, in terms of acting, I've always wanted to be part of a performance. I've always had this inspiration of going to theatre, watching productions, and I thought maybe what if was on that stage and done that? That's what inspired me to become an actor. Just having the inspiration of being on stage and also being on television, just doing what I love doing, and mainly television because it's it's a more versatile form of media. It could be broadcasted anywhere, and yeah, I'm just in it for just being in the moment rather than the recognition that comes with it.
I could dig that. So you in it for the art form?
Yeah,
That's a vibe, man. I think that like to be a creative, you constantly balance passion and creativity, and it's always dope to me when there are people who just innately feel like their passion was something that they just had to do. Like it was just something that they've always like had an interest in and decide to pursue it. So with that being said, like what made you decide to take that next step and were you scared about that?
well, what made me take the next step is, well, if I want to achieve great things, I need to take greater risks. And even though it may look risky, if I handle myself with composure and trying to maintain myself within the pressure, or just the handling well with pressure, I can then achieve onto greater things beyond my expectations. With greater risk comes greater rewards. So I'm
Okay.
willing to so I'm willing to push myself no matter what.
So you Spider-Man yourself.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, you got an Uncle Ben. Yeah, you know what I told you these things. But no, that's the reason I asked you that because I love that. I love that statement about that because I just wanted to like put that one into the air just in general because I feel like as people we all have a passion or we all have something that we're interested in that we would like to take that next step in that it's hard to, and it's what I'm saying. It's hard to. It's scary. There's a lot of uncertainty in it, but it is about just realizing, like if you're gonna play this game of what life is or what you perceive the world to be, want to live a life that you deem like fitting of what you envision for yourself. You got to take those bigger steps. You got to make those bigger moves. You got to get up on that stage. You got to shake that. What I'm saying? You got to shake that fear off. Um, that I just think that's dope, man. Because like even me, for example, I can sit here and have this conversation, and for everybody listening, what I'm saying, we've never met, but I can sit here and have a conversation with you like this because like I had to get over an innate fear of like what I'm saying, just conversation or just being too shy or just knowing how to have a conversation with somebody. I always felt like I was like forcing a conversation or forcing like that ability to be in a room with people. But what I realized was that I was just putting that in my own head and I had to take myself off that ledge and just, you know, take that next step. I had to jump off that ledge and see if I could fly. And luckily it taught me to have these conversations, to just ask these genuine questions and just to come into a room with the charisma that you would want from the room. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so I think what you were saying is very important because it's like if you want to envision anything for your life, you have to envision yourself as that form of that person and start treating your actions as such, which means that you got to put the work in and do that. If I decide that if I want to be Hugh Jackman tomorrow, I can't necessarily be Hugh Jackman, but I can definitely find out what he did to be Wolverine and start working out. I can I can definitely like find out what type of acting classes I want to take, or what I'm saying. I can start doing things to put me in that route. You shouldn't want to compare to the next person. You should want to be the best version of yourself. But it's like it's okay to like look at people as inspiration and take things from their life or take things from them as traits that you would like to add to your own self. So I think it is important that you like you take those next steps of those that fear for that greater payoff.
Oh yes. Absolutely. If you could host a talk show, who would you have on first?
Oh man, if I had a talk show, right, it'd be called Sessions with Sensei Sand, and it'd be a talk show about where missing socks go. I would sit down with the intricate world leaders and ask the real questions. Where do these socks go? How are they missing? Is your left sock in the dryer or is it in your laundry basket? We're here to find out today. But if I could have a talk show, I think to be honest with you, I would just want something like in a creative aspect where I could just like sit and just dissect conversation with like interesting people and didn't ask them these stupid fucking questions that I just have pitted in my head all the time. Like I'm talking to you right now, Peter, and instantly I want to ask you, would you rather have 4 hands or 4 feet? I'll let you decide which one that means. But like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I would like something that would just be silly, but it's just like a genuine form of a conversation. So I would want to have somebody on there that I think people deem like deem like unapproachable or hard to talk to, and then just make them say silly shit. Like, I think we all take ourselves entirely too serious, man. And I would love to have like, I would love to have like maybe like Barack Obama or something. Though I feel like that's kind of cliche, like because that like he's gonna be eloquent, but maybe like I don't know. Do I want the discourse? No, I'm gonna just stick over there. I'm gonna just go with like Matter of factly, right? I already picked. I'm going Kanye West instantly off the back. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna get some screen, some good clippables. I know he's gonna say something wild about these socks. He's gonna go into a passion speech about socks and Yeezy and all this other stuff, and I'm gonna be here for the whole thing. So I would, I would somebody in that realm, man. Like I would want somebody who's gonna come in the room and like madman analytically talk about something to the point where I don't understand what's going on anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's just there's just certain people that you can listen to them dissect like how they feel about something, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and you'll just listen and say, "Wow, like you thought about that sandwich on such a deep level, and like how you broke it down and the physics of this and that." Like I think that the way their brains work is interesting because the same way he looks at it, somebody else is looking at it for colors, and somebody else is looking for texture, somebody else is looking for like sound, even like it's just such a different. Being in the film industry, you realize that people perceive the world in such different ways. So I would just like, I think I would want these like kind of brash personalities on the show because they would be the ones who would bring that insight to just how people perceive the world in other realms. Because it's not, we don't all have to agree to the same thing. Sometimes we can just honestly say, "Oh, I don't agree," but I like to know that you think that way. So Kanye, yeah, let's go
I guess.
Kanye. That's fine.
Yeah.
What about you? Would it be me? Would it be me, or would it be me rambling about socks?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Well, you host a talk show, man.
Yeah. Oh, you got me there. Yeah, you got me there.
Oh, he stumped the talk show host of the talk show, man.
Yeah.
But like, what kind of guests do you typically pick for something like this? Like, I think this is a very interesting like dialogue that we're having because it's just so strange. It's casual and it's all kilted, but it's also professional. Like, what kind of guests do you typically pick for something like this?
Well, the thing is, the kinds of guests I bring on is very diverse. I get authors, I get actors, directors, I get coaches, mentors in finance, life, business. I get all kinds of guests.
Okay. Do you have a specific favorite type of guest, or is it just like you were like creating this room for everyone?
I just, I'm open to all kinds of guests and just talk whatever.
Okay, I could dig that. So, are you currently working on anything, my good sir? What are you working on at the moment?
So, I'm currently working on a project on reviving an app.
On reviving an app?
Yes.
Are
So,
you the Undertaker?
I wish. So, so I, so at the start, I told you the history of that I was doing content creation on this app called Byte that was created by the same guy that made Fine. Long story short, it started off really well. It dipped down. TikTok was about to get banned. When it wasn't, it still spiked up, but then went down again. And then eventually, another app of this within the same competitive plane bought Byte and rebranded it to the app that it was bought. And everyone was very let down and disheartened and betrayed. So all those people from Byte had just left because that app that bought Byte is no longer to be. And now this app is the new thing that's taking over the internet. Or, well, I'm not sure if you could call it taking over the internet. It's just buying and stalling and switching back and forth. So yeah. And then there's two other lads from the US, one in New York and one in North Carolina. Me with those two lads are working together to revive the app using the source code, get it its graphic designs, and yeah, just the whole shebang, just a full revival that everyone loves.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just a little HGN for online. Yo, that's dope though. Like I think that's impressive, and it's like we need that because right now the internet feels so monopolized to about four different places that you can actually go and enjoy yourself, and then the rest is just fodder. And
Yeah.
I think that we kind of need that realm to be able to just have other places that you can go and digest content or create content on even. With just the way that online is working right now, I think it's starting to kind of become its own political ecosystem that forces you to either play what the game is of online or it holds you out. And I don't think that that's fair for content creators, because a lot of what made people viral or made people, what I'm saying, successful online presences was the ability to be authentic. And I feel like it's getting diluted right now.
Yeah, indeed.
So kudos to you.
What?
I said kudos to you.
Oh, thanks.
So kudos to you guys. And you know what I'm saying? I'm putting nothing but positive energy on you guys' journey. You'll definitely have to send me this app. I'm interested in checking it out.
Oh yes. In a few months, maybe years, it will certainly be out, launching its public beta, and yeah, just get everyone just to try it out before it goes out publicly.
Hmm. Say less. I could definitely dig that. Yeah. I will be looking for an update.
Cool, cool. And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you here, Nigel, talking about your media company, moving to Manchester, and talking about all kinds of creativity in the media and everything else. It's been amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on, Peter. It was a dope opportunity. I appreciate the show. It was a very cool vibe, in and out. And it was definitely dope, man. I'd love to do this again. But before we get out of here, I definitely got to plug myself, man. It wouldn't be fair if I did all this work and I ain't tell them where they can find me, man. So, people, you can find me online on Instagram at Sensei, SENSEI _sand, or our media page, No Margins, NOMARGINS _media, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, wherever your grandma goes and likes pictures and says, "That's a great job, baby." We're probably there. So definitely check us out. We have non-stop stream of content coming. We have a new season of interviews with our shows coming as well. 4,001 music videos, 8,002 pictures, and a bunch of jokes like this one here. So just had to get that one out there, empty the clip.
Fantastic. And, and until next time, stay tuned for more.